Salibonani Mthwakazi linjani lapha elikhona kumagumbi amanonke omhlaba abanye liyavuka khathesi thina abanye ngikhona siyalala. So anyway, yimo sizwa njalo, I'm sure you already know, and I'm going to take a few moments Mthwakazi ngifuna nje ukulimoshela isikhathi, just a few moments, give me that time to waste on your behalf. But lingilalele, it's very very critical what I'm going to say right now. Ngifuna ukukhuluma ngesikhwama sesizwe ukuthi kanti vele isikhwama sesizwe sona lesi ikusasa esilikhangeleyo ngesikhwama sesizwe lesi yiliphi. Sikhuluma ngomnotho, why umnotho, kuyini esifuna ukuthi sikwenze ngomnotho lo. That's what I want to talk about. Mthwakazi Heritage Investment Fund, for those that don't know, trading or going as Isikhwama Sesizwe. Why? Because Isikhwama Sesizwe. It cannot be described or defined in any better way than that. Isikhwama Sesizwe. So, Isikhwama Sesizwe split into a few, phases. That's the first phase. Kulapho esiphosela khona amasenti ethu esikhwameni. Next phase kulapha amasenti ethu ahamba khona ayejikelwa kuma options awukuthi azale iprofit abantwana. Phase 3 kulapha ke leyo profit inzalo yesikhwama sethu ezabe isingumnotho khona, and lo mnotho ubususenzelani. I'm going to touch a couple of things here. Angisoke ngiqambe zonke izinto, just a couple of things that stick out nxa sikhuluma ngesikhwama sesizwe, and some of the essential things that we are looking at driving towards, and izinto that would be by law within a constitution yesikhwama sesizwe as far as ikusasa lethu. And by the way, a constitution, we are still working on it. We are still going out consulting with the community, particularly within our membership. We are consulting, and kusazokuba le general conference meeting which we are setting up to happen the moment we hit 1,000 members. Why? Because we want to ensure ukuthi as much as possible whatever we are going to bring out of Isikhwama Sesizwe to represent isizwe sika Mthwakazi comes off of a reasonable group that can be credible enough to represent isizwe sakithi. And 1,000, we feel that's a great number to say when we have a conference, a general conference Mthwakazi, where our registered members all will be invited to attend. Whichever way it will be done, it may be electronic since we are all over the world. But all our members, 1,000 of them at that time, if it's more, great, are going to be part of this conference that we are going to do. That's where we are going to to go ahead and speak to the Constitution, the adoption of the Constitution, the amendments of the Constitution. That's where our bylaws, our constitutions, our policies are going to be thrown to the broader community of Mthwakazi, particularly the exclusive membership Isikhwama Sesizwe, to say, are we going with this? Are we not going with this? What are we doing here? And what are we doing here? And on that note, ngizayibeka lapho constitution. Now ngibuyele kundaba ebengifisa ukuthi vele ngixoxe ngayo namhla, indaba Isikhwama Sesizwe and wealth, umnotho wesizwe sika Mthwakazi. What do we do with it? But Mthwakazi, liyakwazi ukuthi one of our biggest challenges within our community ngama challenges of programs within our communities ezithuthukisa ama communities ethu. I-communities zakithi azila amanzi, azila kudla. I-communities zakithi zifuna ama projects that can help them to self-sustain. Those programs and projects that will help i-communities zakithi ukuthi zizi self-sustain, meaning ukuthi ziziphilise. those are the kind of projects that Isikhwama Sesizwe nxa sesilo mnotho waso will be out there to finance. We will have a special fund that is established for those type of programs, and that will also include some public institutions zikamthwakazi ezifana lezikolo, some public institutions zikamthwakazi ezifana lama health centers, into ezifana lalezo. Okay, so those are things that will be taken care of through a special fund for earmarked specifically for community development. Community must be self-sustainable, wherever abantu bakithi lapha bakhona. Right, that's number one. And then the next priority esilayo liyakwazi ukuthi every community must be able to defend itself, and to defend itself, we are talking about the legal ability to defend ourselves in any court of law, because obviously singabantu bomthetho angivele. So we must be able to defend ourselves, and for us to be able to defend ourselves, Mthwakazi, we need money. Okay, umnyanga ngeke defend, we need money, and that is one of the priorities of Isikhwama Sesizwe. We must have a legal fund that will defend our interests, whatever those interests are. Then Special Sesiza futhi another priority, we are talking about the land bank. Abantu bakithi abanengi kabala mhlaba, and we talk of being indigenous people of our own lands. We talk of our heritage and stuff like that, but the greater majority of our population ngamaloja, we don't have anything that we can show as proof ukuthi this is mine, unless nxa ukhuluma ngokwamama lo baba. So we want to change that. We want to make sure ukuthi abathwakazi, they must have an opportunity or an option of whether or not they can own a property. Right now, for the most part, we don't even have that option of whether or not we can own a property because of because of the circumstances that are thrown at us to make it so difficult, if not impossible, to own properties and to own land. So we will change that through umnotho wesizwe sikamthwakazi. Okay, so that at the end of the day, we have a land bank, exclusive land bank, dealing only with land and property ownership, residential property ownership for abathwakazi. And that can be us restoring properties on behalf of our people. That can be us, borrowing our people to, money to buy properties. That can be us. And when city us, I'm talking about this Sizwe self-financing, because Isikhwama Sesizwe, it means you own it, I own it, we all own it, and then we then borrow ourselves imali. So in-house financing. Okay, and then we all know the importance of having regular banks, commercial banks out there. Sile youth coming out of school, they want to have, to establish businesses. They want to grow businesses. They want to, to expand careers into ezifana lalezo. Loans are required in certain instances, in many instances, to expand businesses and to expand careers, or to develop careers and things like that. So our commercial banks will be there to finance community, individual specific, interests as abathwakazi when they want to develop their own families in Teniap. Okay, so we need a bank that will, specifically have a special interest ebantwini bakithi. That doesn't mean ukuthi ibhenki kaMthwakazi kayiboleka abantu abangasibo kaMthwakazi kumbe kayisoke iservice inikeze iservice abantu abangasibo kaMthwakazi. No, that doesn't work. Akula business operator njalo. But what we are saying is kubhenki kaMthwakazi, uMthwakazi will be number one as a priority. M1, Mthwakazi first, will be the best interest towards Mthwakazi, the best borrowing terms towards Mthwakazi before anybody else can benefit and enjoy those those kind of services. Okay, and then the last engizalitshela yona, this lapha ngifuna nje ukuthi ngilithontisele kancane a few things that we are looking at down the line ngomnotho wesizwe sikaMthwakazi when we have this thing where we want it to be. Okay, education, Bathwakazi, isizwe esingafundanga is a disaster. Does not make any sense at all in this day and age. We need education as a number one top priority. Abantu abethu kumele bafunde all sorts of trades and professions. Abantu abethu kumele baye ezikolo, and right now it's not happening. So we need to change that. But in order for us to change that, we need to own those institutions. We need to be in a position where we can own institutions, where we can fund and finance the establishment of our own institutions as emfundo yabantwana bakamthwakazi kumbe youth yakamthwakazi kumbe ama-adults kamthwakazi. Education is key. Okay, so we will have an education, Mthwakazi Education Foundation. Okay, so those are some of the things Mthwakazi. Angisoke ngikhulume too much about the rest of the dreams or the the rest of the intentions that we have for Isikhwama Sesizwe, but ngilichathekele kancane, coming directly from a constitution in the works, coming directly from a lot of behind the scenes work that we are doing to make sure ukuthi sisakha kuhle lesi Isikhwama Sesizwe. All right, so next time I'll talk about other issues pertaining to Isikhwama Sesizwe lomsebenzi esilawo when it comes to ukwakha lumnotho wesizwe esiwakhayo. All right, take care Mthwakazi. Thank you.